you delegated something to your team and it came back wrong, or it didn't come back at all, or it came back and you had to redo it yourself anyway. And your first thought was, I should have just done it myself. We hear this constantly from business owners, and most of them walk away from that experience thinking they have a people problem, or it was a wrong hire, or there isn't enough initiative, or they can't trust anyone to do things the way they do them. But here's what's actually happening in almost every one of those situations. You didn't have a systems problem, you had a documentation problem. And I'll tell you in this video why delegation actually fails. Because every delegation book, every leadership podcast, every business coach will tell you the exact same thing. You need to learn to let go, trust your team, stop micromanaging. And they are not wrong, but they are skipping a step. When the only version of how we do this lives in your head, the steps, the standards, the exceptions, the things that matter, delegation isn't really a delegation. You're handing someone a task, hoping they figure it out the way you would. And when they don't, you chalk it up to the wrong person. I want you to ask yourself this question. If you hired someone tomorrow and told them to handle your, let's say, client onboarding process, could you point them to a document, an SOP, or a video tutorial, or a step-by-step guide that shows them exactly how to do it? Or would you have to sit with them for 3 hours straight and talk them through it verbally? If it's the second one, the process doesn't exist yet. It only exists in you, in your head. When you delegate without documentation, you're handing someone a task with no map. You're expecting an outcome without giving them the path to get there. An example, I had a client, construction business, 5 years in, whose husband ran most of the operations. They have a really good team, very capable people, but every small question or every decision about what to do next came straight back to the husband. And he was stuck in day-to-day constantly. Not because his team was bad at their jobs, because there was no map, nothing written down, no place they could go to find the answer themselves. And that is person dependency. And it's the most common reason why delegation doesn't stick. It's not about trust. It's about whether the process exists anywhere outside of that one person's head. And when you delegate with documentation, when the process is written down, the steps are clear, the standards are set, you're handing someone a map. They can run the process, they can come back to it when they're unsure, they don't need to call you. And that is the shift from person dependency to systems dependency. So what does it actually take for delegation to work? 3 things have to be in place. Number 1, the process has to exist outside your head, written down or recorded in some format your team can actually use. And I want to be clear about this. It doesn't have to be a written document. Some processes are better shown than described. A Loom walkthrough, for instance, or a screen recording, a short video of you doing the thing and explaining it as you go. Any of those works. What doesn't work, though, is verbal, like verbal instructions on the spot, because they disappear. People forget, they misremember, and the next time that situation comes up again, they are back asking you. Or worse, they are guessing. So the format doesn't matter, but what matters is that the process lives somewhere your team can find it, use it, and come back to it without involving you. Number 2, it has to live somewhere your team can actually find it. And this is where most documentation efforts die. Someone builds a bunch of SOPs, standard operating procedures, and dumps them in a Google Drive folder, and 6 months later, nobody's touched them and no one can find the right information in less than a minute. And I'll tell you exactly why that happens. Because Google Drive is a document storage tool. It's not a knowledge management system. Your team ends up with 200 Word documents in a folder without any clear structure, no way to search across them, and no videos embedded, no links between related processes. It's basically a filing cabinet, and nobody enjoys opening a filing cabinet. The way you build it determines whether your team reaches for it or reaches for you. And when documentation is visual, searchable, and organized by team or role, with videos embedded directly next to the steps or under the steps they support, your team actually uses it because they enjoy using it. Not because you told them to, because it's genuinely easier than calling you. And that is the standard your documentation has to hit. Not just accuracy, but also usability. Number 3, you have to start with the right process. Most people try to document everything at once. They sit down on a Sunday afternoon, they're going to build the whole system, and 2 hours later, they've got a half a page and a headache, and that project never gets finished. Don't start with everything. Start with one process that causes the most problems in your business when it goes wrong. The one where if a team member does it badly, you feel it immediately. The one you had to explain 4 times this month, for instance. Document that one first, get it out of your head into a format that your team can use in somewhere they can actually find it. And that is your first win. Then the next one, then the one after that. Delegation isn't built in a day, but it starts with one process that no longer requires you. This is what most people think. This sounds like a big project. And you're right, it is a big project. That's why people hire us. And that's exactly why most business owners have tried it, got halfway through it, and stopped it. Because building your SOPs take time, and more important than that, it takes structure. And if you're already running the day-to-day in your business, carving out that time is hard. But here is the other side of that. Every week you don't have your systems documented or even built, you are paying for it in interruptions, in inconsistency, in the time you spend re-explaining things that should already be written down. So if your team keeps coming back to you for things they should be able to handle themselves, that's not a hiring problem. It's a documentation problem. The fix is building your systems once, so you stop rebuilding them every time you're asked a question. And if you want to see exactly how we do that, how we take everything in a founder's head and turn it into a fully built operations manual, I will link our walkthrough video below in the description. It walks you through our entire process from start to finish. And if this was useful, subscribe because we post more content on building the systems that actually let you step back.